I focus on the pain.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the best and most culturally significant covers of popular songs. Number 30, Somebody That I Used to Know. Original, Godier featuring Kimbra. Cover, Walk Off the Earth. Considering how beloved the original was, it seemed impossible to elevate it even further. Somebody That I Used to Know was unlike anything else at the time. And what better for an unconventional pop song than a non-traditional cover?
Now and then I think of when we were together.
In 2012, Walk Off the Earth took the internet by storm with their rendition of Godier's hit. The members sat around one guitar, all strumming different notes or drumming on the body.
Get it up to cut me off. Make out like you never remember we were nothing.
It was made even better once the vocals came in, showcasing their unique voices and flawless harmonies.
I don't even need your love. Treat me like a stranger.
It encapsulated the energy of the track flawlessly, creating the perfect companion piece. The band's unique performance style has yet to be truly replicated, making their take one of the most distinctive in recent music history.
I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
Number 29, Lady Marmalade. Original, LaBelle. Cover, Christina Aguilera, Lil' Kim, Maya, and Pink. It isn't often that a single song is performed by multiple generations of superstars.
Hey, sister, go, sister, soul, sister, flow, sister, sister, go, sister, soul, sister.
While you may think Lady Marmalade was created for Moulin Rouge, it had its debut back in 1974 with the group LaBelle. With Patti LaBelle taking the lead, it quickly became their signature tune. Decades later, it was adapted to the big screen, this time with a new era of divas taking it on.
You met Marmalade down in old Moulin Rouge, strutting her stuff on the street.
The newer version kept the original's flair while adding in modern elements, such as Lil' Kim's iconic verse.
High heel shoes, getting love from the dudes, for badass chicks from the Moulin Rouge.
Each singer added something different, with their distinctive vocal techniques complementing one another perfectly. It paid respect to the original while introducing a new generation of talent, and set chart records that still have yet to be broken.
Real Lady Marmalade.
Number 28, I Fought the Law. Original, The Crickets. Cover, The Clash. Some songs are the embodiment of cool, no matter how it's performed. The Crickets' I Fought the Law is a perfect case of musical juxtaposition, with bitter lyrics sung over a deceptively cheerful instrumental.
Taking rocks in the hot sun, I fought the law and the law won.
It's a seminal piece that became influential to bands that came after them, including The Clash.
Needed money 'cause I had none. I fought the law and the law won.
Their iteration had slightly grittier vocals and instrumentation, infusing new life and energy into the track while highlighting its overall message. It was the band's first official release in the United States and kickstarted their popularity there.
Robbing people with a sick gun. I fought the law and the law won.
Since then, it's been featured in everything from blockbuster movies to official military operations, all while still sounding as fresh as it did the day it was released.
I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and
Number 27, Girls Just Wanna Have Fun. Original, Robert Hazard. Cover, Cyndi Lauper. Sometimes all a single needs is a fresh perspective. Although it may be hard to believe now, Girls Just Wanna Have Fun was originally from the perspective of a man and recorded as such.
Girls just wanna have fun. These girls just wanna have fun.
However, the trajectory of the piece changed entirely once Cyndi Lauper got her hands on it.
Oh, Daddy, do you know you're still number one? But girl,
By changing a few of the lyrics and revitalizing the production, she was able to transform it from a typical rock song to a unique synthesizer-based pop masterpiece. It served as her breakout hit, creating a feminist anthem that anyone of any gender could bop along to. Had she not made the changes she did, the track probably wouldn't have the same cultural impact it still has today. Number 26, What a Man. Original Linda Lindell, cover Salt and Peppa, featuring In Vogue. A good cover can help elevate a current artist's career, all while reintroducing older artists to a new generation.
I wanna take a minute or two and give much respect to the man that's made a difference in my world.
Linda Lindell's What a Man didn't make too much of a splash when it was first released in 1968. Decades later, it was revamped by Salt and Peppa and En Vogue, fusing soul and hip-hop together in the best way possible.
And yes, it's me that he's always choosing. With him, I'm never losing, and he knows that my name is not Susan.
It captured the romantic lyricism of the original, all while incorporating a slightly sensual edge to help modernize the piece. What a Man was a critical and commercial hit, easily eclipsing the popularity of the original and bringing both entertainers' careers to new heights.
Every time I need him, he always got my back. Never disrespectful, cause his mama taught him that.
It still remains a hallmark of the 1990s sound, with several publications rightfully considering it as one of the best of the entire decade. Number 25, Me and Bobby McGee. Original, Roger Miller. Cover, Janis Joplin. Some covers serve as a painful reminder of what could have been.
Busted flat in Baton Rouge, heading for the trains.
Originally written by Chris Christopherson and performed by Roger Miller, Me and Bobby McGee started out as a classic rock jam telling the story of lost love.
Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose.
While it was relatively popular in country circles, it was given new recognition when beloved rock star Janis Joplin recorded it just days before her untimely death. Her career had been on an upward trajectory, with her final release becoming her most popular, and for good reason.
Nothing, that's all that Bobby left me.
It highlighted her powerful voice and artistry and helped breathe new life into the number. It served as a bittersweet reminder of the talent the world had just lost, while giving her a legacy that still lives on today.
Bobby McGee.
Number 24, I Love Rock and Roll. Original, Arrows. Cover, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Some artists embody a cover so well that it's hard to believe they didn't come up with the original themselves.
All him dancing there by the record machine. I knew he must have been about 17.
No song exemplifies this more than I Love Rock and Roll. Penned by the Arrows in 1975 and brought to stratospheric heights by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts less than a decade later.
I could tell it wouldn't be long that he was with me. Yeah, me.
They intensified the guitars and drums used in the piece, creating an anthem that also acted as a true love letter to the genre. Jett's raspy voice and effortlessly cool aesthetic helped sell the image, resulting in it topping the charts several weeks in a row.
Singing, I love rock and roll. So put another dime in the jukebox, baby.
While other singers have taken a stab at reimagining the track, this still remains the most well-known, and it's clear to see why. Number 23, All By Myself. Original, Eric Carmen. Cover, Celine Dion. Some covers can be considered the natural progression of an already fantastic song. Eric Carmen's power ballad, All By Myself, was a smash hit, drawing comparisons to music legends and hitting number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100.
When I was young, I never needed anyone.
Just over 20 years later, Celine Dion further redefined it when she released her passionate rendition of the tune.
Living alone, I think of all the friends I've known.
Allowing her vocal range to do all the heavy lifting, she infused a new sense of vitality and emotion that made it all the more powerful.
All by myself.
To this day, she is one of the only artists that could live up to Carmen's original. It's still an absolute masterclass in pure musicality and talent, and is undeniable proof that she's one of the greatest divas alive today. Number 22, With a Little Help from My Friends. Original, The Beatles. Cover, Joe Cocker. How many musicians can say they've successfully outdone a Beatles tune?
What would you do if I sang out of tune?
The band is influential for countless reasons, with many of their songs becoming instant classics. It's hard to imagine anyone matching them on a technical level, but Joe Cocker managed to do exactly that with his interpretation of With a Little Help from My Friends.
Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song.
Influenced by iconic soul artists, Cocker revamped the piece into a rousing gospel anthem, complete with a drawn-out introduction that immediately set it apart from the original.
All I need is my baby.
It was also made even more powerful by a lively performance at Woodstock. It ended up becoming the jumping-off point for his decades-long career and earned him well-deserved recognition from Sir Paul McCartney himself, the highest honor he could have possibly received.
I gotta get my friend. I gotta get my friend.
Number 21, Fast Car. Original, Tracy Chapman. Cover, Luke Combs. The best remakes often remind you of what made the original song so special.
You get a fast car. I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal.
Tracy Chapman captured lightning in a bottle with Fast Car, with the bleak yet relatable lyrics striking a chord in the hearts of people across the nation. When Luke Combs announced he'd be covering the number in 2023, many were worried that the original meaning would be lost.
I got a plan to get us out of here, been working at the convenience store. Minutes to save just a little bit of money.
He ended up proving everybody wrong when he released a lyrically faithful version of the 1988 classic with a slight country tinge.
I remember when we were driving in your car, speed so fast I felt like I was drunk.
It brought him new levels of respect and put a well-deserved spotlight on Chapman's work. It was a perfect example of two different musician styles fusing together beautifully, which was further proven by their jaw-dropping Grammys duet the following year.
I had a feeling I could be someone.
Number 20, Stand By Me. Original, Benny King. Cover, Otis Redding. It takes a special artist to re-record a classic like Stand By Me. Despite the perfection of Benny King's original, Otis Redding is more than capable of delivering his own fantastic rendition.
Just as long as you stand by me.
Off the singer's debut album, Pain in My Heart, the song was among several that proved the performer was the next best thing in music. Among the voices of his generation, Redding made the track all his own with his incredible tone and resonance.
Darling, stand by me. Come on, pretty baby. Stand by me.
For Stand By Me, he's at the top of his game. As a cover and as a standalone track, the tribute to legendary Benny King is both a valuable and authentic tribute to early R&B. Number 19, The Sound of Silence. Original, Simon & Garfunkel. Cover, Disturbed. In 2015, Disturbed shocked the music world with a surprisingly powerful take on the sound of silence. The metal act traded in their shredding guitars and screams for a slower, melodic tribute to the 60s folk song.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Somehow, It ends up being a match made in metal music heaven. Singer David Draymond belts his heart out in a performance that even drew praise from original songwriter Paul Simon himself. In an arrangement that harkens back to folk music and salutes metal ballads, the track lends itself well to the updated reimagining.
Disturb the sound of silence.
After a performance on Conan, this version got another huge push as a viral hit on YouTube. Despite the unlikely pairing, Disturbed proved themselves as more than just your typical metal act. Number 18, Blinded by the Light. Original, Bruce Springsteen. Cover, Manfred Mann's Earth Band. Like it or not, this rock number remains in an inescapable 70s time capsule. Leaving behind his 60s pop sound, Manfred Mann became Manfred Mann's Earth Band and decided to cover Bruce Springsteen.
Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night.
After Springsteen's recording failed to make a dent in the industry, the band recorded the song and landed the top spot on the Billboard Top 100 charts. Indirectly giving the songwriter his highest charting single, the group gives this rendition a prog rock feel that works especially well for a sing-along.
Some silicone sister with a manager, mister, told me I got what it takes.
Despite the sometimes indecipherable lyrics, the single features inviting grooves and fun melodies. Whatever you think of the track, Manfred Mann's Earth Band and this hit will always provide a healthy dose of nostalgia to fans young and old. Number 17, Mad World. Original, Tears for Fears. Cover, Michael Andrews featuring Gary Jules. Among Tears for Fears' more sentimental songs, it took a cover by Michael Andrews and Gary Jules to revitalize it. First appearing in the 2001 film Donnie Darko, the somber piano and passionate vocals became the go-to way to explain the chaos of everyday life.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places.
While the Tears for Fears track carries plenty of emotional heft, the single needed an added element of drama, like a slow tempo and piano. Sometimes a song just hits you right in the heart, with Jules' performance providing a perfect outlet for emotional words.
It's a very, very mad world.
In the case of Mad World, Michael Andrews and Gary Jules delivered an exceptional cover of this 80s hit. Number 16, Smooth Criminal. Original, Michael Jackson. Cover, Alien Ant Farm. California alt-metal band Alien Ant Farm took a genre-twisting take on this Michael Jackson classic. Call it metal, alternative, or punk, this adaptation of Smooth Criminal features something for fans of hard rock. Percussive guitar riffs and attitude make this unlikely cover an unexpected classic in its own right. While a pop-punk cover of the King of Pop sounds doomed to fail, it actually wound up being one of the more entertaining and memorable covers of its kind. If that wasn't enough, the single reached number 1 on the Billboard Alternative charts.
You've been struck by a smooth criminal.
Even if Alien Ant Farm's legacy might stop with this song, there's always a chance they'll strike again. Number 15, Valerie. Original, The Zootons. Cover, Mark Ronson featuring Amy Winehouse. If you're like us, you probably forgot Valerie was a cover in the first place. It speaks to the power of Amy Winehouse and Mark Ronson's talents that many people assume it was their original song.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water.
Despite the Zootons' great performance and charming indie rock sound, this recording remains the definitive version. Needless to say, when you're competing with the voice of Amy Winehouse, you'll probably lose. Among her many defining hits, this plays as one of her skillful throwbacks to Motown.
Why don't you come on over, Valerie?
Built by a layered and dense production courtesy of master producer Ronson, the track's catchy hook gets an excellent treatment from the singer. Number 14, Killing Me Softly with His Song. Original, Lori Lieberman. Cover, Fugees. While the original recording was by co-writer Lori Lieberman, most people remember Killing Me Softly with His Song as Roberta Flack's masterpiece. From a folk single to a soul magnum opus, the song's rich history created the template for this inventive cover.
Strumming my pain with his finger.
Given the weight of Flack's version, it's hard to think that anyone could have delivered another era-defining version of this track. Leave it to the Fugees to ace the assignment, giving it a hip-hop and soul flavor built around the unprecedented talents of singer Lauryn Hill. This cover captures the essence of the original with a renewed and experimental spirit.
Killing me softly with his song. Killing me softly.
Updating a vintage 70s song for a new generation, the hip-hop trio put together a worthy remix for the 90s. Number 13, Nothing Compares to You. Original, The Family. Cover, Sinead O'Connor. Originally recorded by The Family, Sinead O'Connor's version of Nothing Compares to You is a rare example of someone one-upping Prince.
Since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want.
While she'd already recorded a debut record, the Irish singer became an international sensation after the release of this pop ballad. The second single off her second album, Nothing Compares to You, serves as an exemplary showcase of the performer's incredible artistry. In a sparse arrangement, the track gave her plenty of room to belt out the performance of a lifetime.
Nothing compares to you.
A number one single in the US and around the world, this cover serves as a wonderfully vulnerable meditation on love. All these years later, O'Connor's version still sounds as fresh and passionately sung as the day it was released. Number 12, I Shot the Sheriff. Original, Bob Marley and the Wailers. Cover, Eric Clapton. Considering Bob Marley's enduring influence on music, it was only a matter of time that a contemporary tried to cover him. Known primarily for his forays into blues rock, Eric Clapton took a successful stab at I Shot the Sheriff.
Say they want to bring me in guilty.
It's almost impossible to not sing and shimmy along with the fun chorus and infectious harmonies. Rising to the top of the Billboard Hot 100, the hit put an additional spotlight on Marley's songwriting prowess. Not only did it give deserved attention to the reggae artist, the song was also Clapton's highest charting single ever.
I shot the sheriff, and they say it is a capital offense.
As a fun, easygoing take on an already awesome track, this cover of I Shot the Sheriff delivers for rock and reggae fans alike. Number 11, The Man Who Sold the World. Original, David Bowie. Cover, Nirvana. For their 1993 Unplugged performance, Nirvana busted out an array of surprisingly effective covers. Among lead singer Kurt Cobain's favorites, The Man Who Sold the World was the high point of a stellar setlist.
The face to face of the man who sold the world.
Considering the difference in sound between the two artists, this performance represented the band stretching their abilities in the best way. With Cobain's death months before the album's release, this particular version holds an even greater significance in the group's brief but storied career. With a cello accompaniment, the subdued sound captures Nirvana at their most daring. As a chilling and musically adventurous cover, the song remains a testament to the legacy of the grunge trio's legend. Number 10, Knockin' on Heaven's Door. Original, Bob Dylan. Cover, Guns N' Roses. Axl Rose and Bob Dylan might not seem like a match made in heaven, but somehow the bad boys of rock made this track extra special. The LA band took this much-covered Dylan song and gave it a rock facelift.
Mama, take this trash bag.
At the peak of their popularity, the Rockers released this cover on the soundtrack for the movie Days of Thunder and later on their Use Your Illusion 2 album to continued success. Adding in Slash's signature guitar parts, this version builds out the sound of the original with massive arena rock production values. Sending the likes of Dylan into the hard rock world, Guns N' Roses paid tribute to the folk legend by adding a few bombastic tricks of their own. Number 9, Georgia on My Mind. Original, Hoagy Carmichael. Cover, Ray Charles. Among the great American standards, Ray Charles's version of Georgia on My Mind stands alone as an all-time music classic.
This whole sweet song, keep Georgia on my mind.
Composed and recorded by Hoagy Carmichael in the 30s, it took decades until the song landed into popular consciousness. One of Charles's signature tracks, the song captures one of his best vocal performances in a beautiful rendition. Not only does it stand as a legendary and critically acclaimed recording, the song made it to #1 on the Billboard 100 charts. Sung with nothing but pure heart and soul, the artist gives his all in a performance for the ages. With Carmichael's strong foundation, the singer delivered a song that arguably enshrined him as one of the most impactful musicians of his day. Number 8, Proud Mary. Original, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Cover, Ike and Tina Turner. Swamp rock band Creedence Clearwater Revival released the massive hit Proud Mary. Years later, Ike and Tina Turner spun the roots rock sound into a funky soul masterpiece.
And we're rolling,
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 rolling low.
rolling on a river.
In what would become her magnum opus, the cover represented Tina Turner's boisterous and unmistakable voice at its finest. From the dramatic opening to the electric finish, Ike and Tina's version takes us through the full gamut of musical excellence.
Big wheel keep on turning, turning, our river keep on burning, burning.
Winning a Grammy, the song is now as famous and revered as the original. Passing from John Fogerty to Tina Turner, Proud Mary remains an outstanding example of making a cover your own. Number 7, All Along the Watchtower. Original, Bob Dylan. Cover, The Jimi Hendrix Experience. In another case of a cover usurping the original, Jimi Hendrix's interpretation of All Along the Watchtower opens like a cannon shot. Not even a year after Dylan released his original, Hendrix gave the song an electric supercharge with his amazing guitar mastery. Juxtaposed with the track's poetic lyrics, the guitar god lays down one of the heaviest tracks of the 60s psychedelic scene.
All along the watchtower, preserves kept of you.
After hearing Hendrix's explosive cover, the songwriter adapted his version and made it a mainstay in his live performances. Along with Dylan's approval of the remix, the track also gave the guitarist his highest charting single in the US. In a song that perfectly captures the chaos of the decade, there's few covers as memorably raucous as this one. Number 6, Hound Dog. Original, Big Mama Thornton. Cover, Elvis Presley. When people think of early rock and roll, they inevitably land on Elvis. Take this re-recording of a Big Mama Thornton song as a chief example of the King's capabilities. It's hard to imagine a song that was more influential for the burgeoning genre than Hound Dog. Alongside early rhythm and blues, the likes of Elvis and this cover sent shivers down the spines of parents everywhere. Outrage only grew when the performer's hip-shaking rendition of the song on TV led to calls that the artist had a bad influence on kids. Carrying a rebellious spirit to this day, there's still an energetic rhythm that's undisputable in Hound Dog. Number 5, I Will Always Love You. Original, Dolly Parton. Cover, Whitney Houston. Recorded for the film The Bodyguard, the song I Will Always Love You was originally by Dolly Parton. It speaks to Houston's one in a million voice that the song will forever be remembered as her masterstroke.
So goodbye, please don't cry.
Giving her finest vocal performance, the singer delivers impossibly high notes as no one could. Doing justice to Parton's version, producer David Foster ensured that the artist received the royal treatment. Even after its record-breaking streak atop the Billboard charts, the song remains one of the most famous and sought-after covers in popular music.
And I will always love you.
One of the best-selling singles of all time, Houston's legendary cover of I Will Always Love You secures her place among the more prestigious and talented vocalists of all time. Number 4. Hallelujah. Original, Leonard Cohen. Cover, Jeff Buckley. As skilled a guitar player as he was a vocalist, Jeff Buckley burned bright with only one official studio album to his name. Among the most famous songs off the album, Hallelujah brought renewed attention to the Leonard Cohen song.
Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift.
Angelic doesn't even begin to describe the singer's wide-ranging voice in this interpretation. Illuminating Cohen's beautiful composition, the artist's performance sends a chill down every listener's spine without fail. After the performer's untimely death, the song went on to further recognition and made several appearances in film and television, inspiring another wave of covers and reigniting the spark of the original.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Jeff Buckley's amazing and indelible recording is a once-in-a-generation achievement. Number 3. Twist and Shout. Original, The Top Notes. Cover, The Beatles. While the Beatles went on to be among the best songwriters ever, their early recording years included many skillfully executed covers. For Twist and Shout, the quartet delivered a send-up of the Top Notes track with a pop-rock flair. Led by John Lennon's perfectly raspy voice, this track is sure to put any listener in a happy mood. While each member performs at their peak, Lennon's unrestrained vocal captures the true heights of rock singing. When the song landed a memorable needle drop in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, it sparked renewed interest in the cover. Whether you're a devoted Beatles fan or a casual pop listener, this cover unites everyone in its joyful intensity. Number 2. Respect. Original, Otis Redding. Cover, Aretha Franklin. When Aretha Franklin made her mark on a song, she took complete control of it. Taking the R&B foundation of Otis Redding, the singer's legend was solidified with this classic of all classics.
Hey, what you want? Baby, I got what you need. You know I got.
In yet another case of a cover outperforming the original, Franklin's version practically rewrote the history of the song itself. Powered by one of the finest voices in American music, Respect became an anthem for women listeners. Spelling one of the most iconic titles in R&B history, the Queen of Soul made her mark with her unprecedented vocal abilities.
R-E-S-P-C-T, that's what it means to me. R-E-S-P-C-T,
When people first heard the song in 1967, the #1 smash made it clear that Aretha Franklin would never be forgotten. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Hurt. Original, 9 Inch Nails. Cover, Johnny Cash. Covering a haunting track by industrial rock band 9 Inch Nails, the country star imbued Hurt with a newfound mix of sadness, regrets, and world weariness.
I hurt myself today.
Living the life that he lived, the singer delivers the song as if it was his dying breath. Since the artist was in failing health, this song acted as the perfect swan song for someone of his immeasurable stature. Few people record such an important track at his age, while giving it as fresh and emotional a spin as if he had written it himself.
I will make you hurt.
Not only does Cash's version rank among the best recordings of its era, it's also one of the boldest covers of recent memory.
What song cover do you think elevated the original the most? Let us know in the comments below.
Don't you know I need someone?
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.